In this lesson, we'll do a discussion on shot continuity. Continuity in film is all about making sure things are consistent from scene to scene. Meaning, we wouldn't want an object in one spot in one scene and have that same object in a different spot in another scene. Things just wouldn't add up and it would break the illusion to the audience. So, keeping that in mind, we want to make sure that we keep things consistent. And a lot of times in film, you're given a script supervisor that pays attention to things like that so that they do not become issues later on down the pipeline. Now, as animators, we need to be our own script supervisors and pay attention to things like that. So that's one example of continuity. Another example would be the invisible eye line between two characters during a dialogue. Now, with a two-person dialogue, you're given an invisible line. Imagine a line drawn from one character to the next. Now, with that line, as we're doing camera cuts in that dialogue, we do not want to cross over the line when filming the opposite character. Otherwise, they'll appear to be standing in the same spot. And let me give you an example of that. If we were to go ahead and create a camera, let's go ahead and just make a basic camera. I'll go ahead and head over to the show menu, make sure cameras are turned on. And I'll start by filming the yellow character. I'll just go ahead and rotate the camera 180 degrees. I'm going to bring it up. I'll go ahead and rename it. It's going to be ShotCam01. Now we could use our layout, kind of back up the camera a bit. Bring it over and just do some basic framing. Okay. Alright, and I'll also make sure that underneath the camera settings we have the resolution gate turned on so we can see what we're capturing in our shot. I won't spend too much more time framing this. Alright, there we have it. Alright, so we have our first shot established. We can go ahead and set a key on our camera on frame 1. Press Shift W and Shift E to set translate and rotate keys. Alright, so now that that's done, we can now go ahead and cross over that line and frame the next character. So I'll go to frame 2. I'll take the camera and move it across that invisible line between the two characters. We can go ahead and rotate it now to face the other character in the dialogue. Okay, just looking at framing here. Maybe bring that camera just a little bit closer to the two characters. Alright, so this should be good. Let's go ahead and focus on our shot camera and scrub back and forth. And what we see is the yellow character appearing to stand in the same spot as the blue character. And again, the reason why that is because we've crossed over that eye line during this dialogue. Now again, the reason why we don't want to do this is because it confuses the audience. It makes it seem as if both characters are in the same spot. So to fix this then, what we'd want to do is make sure that that plane is not crossed over. So what I'll go ahead and do from here is just take the key from frame 1 of the camera, and I'll go ahead and middle click on frame 3 and press Shift W and Shift E so we can clone that key to frame 3. And now what we'll do is frame up the blue character on frame 4, but without crossing over that line. So I'll just go ahead and move the camera over and rotate it around. I'll check the shot camera for framing and just make sure that we have a decent shot on frame 4. Okay, so that should be fine. Can go ahead and focus on our shot camera. Now let's go ahead and scrub through from frames 3 and 4. And now notice that problem is fixed because we can clearly see that both characters are standing in different directions. So again, that's another example of continuity, making sure that we don't cross over that invisible eye line or break the plane, as they say, during these type of animations. Okay, so here's the problem, frames 1 and 2, and here is it fixed, frames 3 and 4. Now there is an exception to crossing over that line, and that's only when the camera is animated across that line, because we can clearly see what's happening. But if it comes to doing camera cuts during this type of sequence, again, we want to avoid that breaking the plane problem.